Good morning, everybody. Thank you. Good morning. Wow. Do I look like I need help? Okay. I tell you, thank you for all the help. I need all the help I can get. Good morning and welcome to Unitarian Universalist Fellowship of Fayetteville. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad I'm here. I'm glad we get to be here together. It's a fun morning with food and everything, and I would like to open the service by offering a little bit of Johann Sebastian Bach.
Thank you, Brenda. We do welcome you to our special annual bread communion service the Sunday before Thanksgiving. We gather together each week as a community of seekers to honor the interdependence of life, to respect the dignity of all, to honor the land that we walk upon. And I think it is appropriate at this time of Thanksgiving that we acknowledge that we reside in a state whose native occupants, including the Osage, the Caddo, and the Quapaw nations, were expelled by many of our ancestors. We further recognize that a portion of the Trail of Tears runs almost next to this building, and that the Cherokee, the Choctaw, the Muskogee, the Chickasaw, and Seminole nations passed through this area during this forced removal. We seek continuity and connection to the past as we look to the future, supporting efforts to ensure justice for all people, indigenous and latecomers like the rest of us. We are grateful today for the opportunity to live out our common principles, to bring justice, equity, and compassion into our daily lives, and to resist all that threatens the earth and her people. We are glad to have you here today. It is a special day with the bread. You know, you can smell the bread. Is it wafting or wafting? I never know. Thank you. Through the air. What they said. And it's kind of a test of patience to sit there with the bread right in front of you, but we are going to ask you to wait. Now, there are a few in here who have serious issues with waiting, and some of them are young. We're not going to come stop anyone if you just gotta have some bread. Woe betide us to step in your way. We do have some vegan bread.
Yes, it does have honey in it.
With honey.
Yes,
Okay, is that
it makes it not hardcore vegan.
so? Yeah, if you're non-honey vegan, and I don't think we have. Unfortunately, we don't have any gluten-free bread unless someone brought some that we don't know about. So sorry about that. Because of our arrangement, we're going to do joys and concerns a little differently today. We did leave some cards on the tables. If you have a joy and concern you want to write down, and later in the service, we're going to ask you to pass those down, and we will read them. People joining us online can also write those in the comments, and they'll be read later on. We're not going to do the normal dropping of stones, just we decided it would be a little, the egress and ingress would be a little difficult. So, but we will read cards, and okay, I think we're ready to go. Reverend Renée reading us our opening words.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our bread service. I love this service and how very good it is to be together in community today. How good it is to be able to focus on gratitude together today. As Unitarian Universalists, we know that Thanksgiving has many faces. Good food, good friends around a beautiful table, celebrating the year's bountiful harvest with a feast, and almost in the same breath, the personal pain of the season, of someone not being at the table, or bad memories. Some Unitarian Universalist congregations will be holding a service today or next week called Thanksgiving. We know that this is a complicated season, especially for our indigenous siblings. Specifically challenging, specifically painful. So yes, we are walking carefully into this season of gratitude. We proceed with ears and eyes and hearts open, willing to hear and see other people's Thanksgivings too. And, beloveds, gratitude is good for us. Gene's going to tell us more about that in a little bit. But having a season of gratitude in our harried culture, especially this time of year, can feel like an oasis of mindfulness in a desert of commercialism. I am feeling grateful today to be in this pulpit, to be with you as we journey into this holiday season together. Dear ones, what are you grateful for? What pops into your head? Don't say it out loud, but just what pops into your head when I say, what are you grateful for? Me too. I am also incredibly grateful to David. David is our audiovisual engineer and an important member of our community. He's usually making everything run smoothly online, and today I asked him to come out from behind the cameras and computers and light the chalice for us. David.
The words are on the screen or in your order of service. Love is the spirit of this community, and service is its prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge in truth, and to help one another. Thus do we covenant together. Thanks.
Good morning, everybody. We are going to sing, and the words will be up there, and feel free to stand as you're willing and able. Number 360, Here We Have Gathered. some classical Thanksgiving-ish hymns today. This might take a minute.
Hey, y'all, if it is too hard to stand up, seriously, you don't have to live like that. It's not that kind of a church. You can keep your seat.
A beautiful full sound that was. Thank you so much. Have a seat. Thanks. I thought we sounded good too. Okay, you guys, I'm getting older and I need some cheaters and I don't have them yet. So you'll just forgive me if I take my glasses off and look like this. Just look at the pictures and not at me. The story is called Last Stop on Market Street. It is a classic. The author is Matt de la Pena, and he is a really good author. So look him up if you've got kids in your life who need good books. Okay. I'll read the dedication because it's sweet. For Luna and her two grandmas, Ronnie and Grace. And for Nana, says the illustrator. They sound like special people. CJ pushed through the church doors, skipped down the steps. The outside air smelled like freedom, but it also smelled like rain, which freckled CJ's shirt and dripped down his nose. He ducked under his Nana's umbrella, saying, "How come we gotta wait for the bus in all this wet?" "Trees get thirsty too," his Nana told him. "Don't you see that big one drinking through a straw?" CJ looked for a long time, but never saw a straw. From the bus stop, he watched the water pool on flower petals, watched rain patter against the windshield of a nearby car, His friend Colby climbed in, gave CJ a wave, and drove off with his dad. Nana, how come we don't got a car? Boy, what do we need a car for? We got a bus that breathes fire. And old Mr. Dennis, who always has a trick for you. The bus creaked to a stop in front of them. It sighed and sagged, and the doors swung open. Can't you just hear it? What's that I see? Mr. Dennis asked. He pulled a coin from behind CJ's ear, placed it in his palm. Nana laughed her deep laugh and pushed CJ along. They sat right up front. The man across the way was tuning a guitar. An old woman with curlers had butterflies in a jar. Nana gave everyone a great big smile and a good afternoon. She made sure CJ did the same. The bus lurched forward and stopped, lurched forward and stopped. Nana hummed as she knit. How come we always got to go here after church? CJ said. Miguel and Colby, they never have to go nowhere. I feel sorry for those boys, she told him. They'll never get a chance to meet Bobo or the sunglass man. And I hear Trixie got herself a brand new hat. CJ stared out the window, feeling sorry for himself. He watched cars zip by on either side, watched a group of boys hop curbs on bikes. A man climbed aboard with a spotted dog. CJ gave up his seat. How come that man can't see? Boy, what do you know about seeing? Nana told him. Some people watch the world with their ears. That's a fact. Their noses, too, the man said, sniffing at the air. That's a mighty fine perfume you're wearing today, ma'am. Nana squeezed the man's hand and laughed her deep laugh. Two older boys got on next. CJ watched as they moved on by and stood him back. Sure wish I had one of those, he said. Nana set down her knitting. What for? You got the real live thing sitting across from you. Why don't you ask the man if he'll play us a song? CJ didn't have to. The guitar player was already plucking strings and beginning to sing. To feel the magic of music, the blind man whispered, I like to close my eyes. Nana closed hers too, and so did CJ and the spotted dog. And in the darkness, the rhythm lifted CJ out of the bus, out of the busy city. He saw sunset colors swirling over crashing waves, saw a family of hawks slicing through the sky, saw the old woman's butterflies dancing free in the light of the moon. CJ's chest grew full and he was lost in the sound, and the sound gave him the feeling of magic. The song ended, and CJ opened his eyes. Everyone on the bus clapped, even the boys in the back. Nana glanced at the coin in CJ's palm. CJ dropped it in the man's hat. Last stop on Market Street, Mr. Dennis called. CJ looked around as he stepped off the bus. Crumbling sidewalks and broken down doors, graffiti-tagged windows and boarded-up stores. He reached for his Nana's hand. How come it's always so dirty over here? She smiled and pointed to the sky. Sometimes when you're surrounded by dirt, CJ, you're a better witness for what is beautiful. CJ saw the perfect rainbow arcing over their soup kitchen. He wondered how his Nana always found beautiful where he never even thought to look. He looked all around them again, at the bus rounding the corner out of sight, and the broken street lamp still lit up bright, and the stray cat shadows moving across the wall. When he spotted their familiar faces in the window, he said, I'm glad we came. He thought his Nana might laugh, her deep laugh, but she didn't. She patted him on the head and told him, me too, CJ. Now come on. The end.
Thank you, Stephanie. It's one of my favorites. Friends, it is time for our ritual of joys and concerns. Albeit a little differently today. Brenda is going to play a little bit of music, and please finish filling out your joys and concerns cards and pass them to this side of the table, and Gene and I will pick those up. Brenda.
A bumper crop. I think doing it this way encourages people, which is wonderful. Thank you. I'm going to do the joys. There's so many, we're going to split it. I'm going to read the joys and Renee the concerns, and then we'll read those on Facebook.
Gene, will you drop a stone for the unnamed sorrows? And another for the sorrows that we will inevitably meet with this week? And then for the unnamed joys, let's do one for that too. Unnamed joys in our hearts. Yeah, drop 1 million, that's right, drop 1 million of them. And then how about 1 million more for the joys that we will have in, do it, Gene. Yeah! All of the joys for us. All of the joys for us. Oh, and now we have one. Uh-oh, pull one back out for me, Gene. Leanda? Thank you. Friends, thank you. I am so excited to hear from Nancy and her gratitude moment.
When I came in, saw all these tables, that told me that half of you would have your back to me. So I said, one of these. Okay. I joined this fellowship September 6th, 1992. So I've been here a while. But I want to tell you a little bit about my journey. I was born in 1939 to Southern Baptist parents in the medical clinic of the Fordyce, Arkansas Lumber Company. And that's where the doctor was. Is this on? Yes. Okay. My parents were Southern Baptist. In our little town of Rison, you could be a Baptist or a Methodist or nothing. And we even thought Catholics were kind of strange. So it was pretty narrow. And luckily, my parents were responsible, hardworking. They married at 18, right out of high school. And they had values that I think came from their Baptist upbringing, but they were honest, dependable. They didn't smoke. They didn't drink, because that was bad stuff. And, but I'm kind of grateful for that. And I had grandparents just up the street. I had a farmer grandparent or parents over in the country. We got to go over to their farm and play in the barn and play in the creek and be close to the earth. And the town was small enough that everybody in town knew you. And if you misbehaved, they knew who to call. But I learned early on that responsible behavior was preferable to bad behavior. And so I was a rule follower. I studied. I practiced the piano. I did what I was told to do. And my sister got attention by misbehaving. But it paid for me. When I went to church, I heard some scary stuff about burning in hell if you don't accept Jesus. And the age of accountability, is what they called it, was 9. So you couldn't be baptized and saved from hell until you were 9. So that was pretty scary. And you learn to do it as soon as possible. So I did. And I was told I should read the Bible every day, so I did that. My parents didn't read the Bible, and I didn't see them praying. So I thought they act like Christians, but they're not doing all the stuff that I'm told I'm supposed to do. So I went off to camp, and I thought the ultimate in life was to be a missionary to a foreign country and save the heathen. And so I tried to believe all this, came here for college, and got exposed to a few more ideas. I was still a Baptist, spent many hours at the Baptist Student Center on campus. And met my first husband, who was straight out of a cotton patch in East Arkansas. And he was majoring in agriculture. Oh, 2 minutes to go?
2 minutes to go.
Oh, okay. So anyway, I thought he was handsome, he was smart. He decided he wanted to be a minister. And what more could I want? So we married, and I was the minister's wife, and I did all the right things. But I was having a lot of questions. And ultimately, we divorced. And then I tried to be a Methodist because I thought they were more liberal. But I was going to the Episcopal Church to study Carl Jung's psychology. And I went to a spiritual retreat up in the wilds of Canada, north of Toronto. And I met a Methodist, a Presbyterian minister, and I was telling him about some of my questions. And he said, you might want to try the Unitarian Fellowship. So, also, I was working in the federal court for federal Judge Waters, and he had a nice lady law clerk who was the daughter of a Methodist minister. So I was telling her about some of my questions, and she said, you might want to consider the Unitarian Fellowship. So I did. I came here. I didn't know this place existed. And I found it to be accepting. You didn't have to come here with a prescribed belief. You could come here as you were, and you were accepted. And I think it's very freeing. And well, the bills have to be paid. So here is my pledge, my donation for the year. Can I give it to? Give it to Fawn. Okay.
Wow, thank you. I'm just trying to confuse the camera people. We should give you a whole sermon time. What a great, and I know there's more to your story. I mean, it's interesting to me. Our stories are all different, and yet they're kind of the same, aren't they? So it is time for our offering. Good luck, ushers. No, I think why don't we pass the baskets down each table and then back up? Does that work? So we have about 800 ways you can give. Texting is one of them. Website, money, mailing. We'll accept it. Venmo, PayPal. Thank you. It is our voluntary offerings that sustain this place. And will continue to sustain it, even when we have to switch from heat to air conditioning in the middle of a service.
Thank you, Brenda. Friends, bread communion is one of those Unitarian Universalist specific rituals that we do each year at UUFF. Like flower communion and the water ingathering, our day of remembrance, we've been doing this service since before I came here in 2007. I am so glad that we share these services together each year. It is so comforting and it is so good to be together in our spiritual community. Giving thanks for the harvest and breaking bread together is as old as bread itself. The earliest bread wouldn't look much like bread to us. It was about 14,500 years ago in the northeastern desert of Jordan. But it became a mainstay a few hundred years after that with the dawn of agriculture in the Neolithic age when grain could become more accessible. Can you imagine? Imagine the discovery of bread. Imagine that first smell of the flour cooking out. That first taste of bread. I learned a lot about bread as I researched and wrote my part of the service today. I learned something else too. I take bread for granted, hard. The reality, I take food for granted. Maybe we all do. What if we were grateful for every meal? What if we sat in gratitude for every bite? No one's perfect, but what if we put just a tiny bit more thought into gratitude? Gene, why should we? Why should we deal with gratitude? Tell me why we should deal with gratitude, Gene.
I'm so glad you asked me that. Gratitude is the expression of appreciation for what one has, and according to Psychology Today, it is a recognition of value independent of monetary worth, spontaneously generated from within. It is an affirmation of goodness and warmth. This social emotion strengthens relationships, and its roots run deep in evolutionary history, emanating from the survival value of helping others and being helped in return. Now, studies show, don't ask me which ones, but some studies show that specific areas of the brain are involved in experiencing and expressing gratitude. Brain scans, this is real science, of people assigned a task that stimulates expression of gratitude show lasting changes in the prefrontal cortex. All right, gratitude's good for you. It reduces stress, it increases mental resilience, and it actually increases other healthy choices. So it's got all this good stuff. I think that's pretty non-controversial. There is some controversy over, so it's a feeling, right? Can you control your feelings? Not really. However, gratitude, it turns out, also can be a practice. You can intentionally set out to practice it, to make a conscious effort to count your blessings. And people that do that, that cultivate gratitude, have a lot of benefits. To whom are we grateful, or to what? To some people, it's God or a divine being or spirit in the universe. It's nature. It's our furry friends. But what I want to focus on is people, other people to whom we're grateful. And I want to give you a homework assignment that will end today's class, and that is to write down, or you can do it mentally, but on your order of service, there's a place there that says notes and doodles. Who are some people that you're grateful to? Could be your parents, grandparents, other family members, brother, sister, children, grandchildren. Could be a teacher that really made a difference for you. It could be somebody in this room. It could be something big. It could be something small. Then the next part of the assignment is to acknowledge your gratitude to that person. In some cases, these are people who maybe have passed away. You could do a social media post about them as a way, or some other way to tell others about that person. If it's a living person, your assignment is to tell them. It can be in a phone call. It can, there's a lost art of writing thank you notes. And there are few people in here, I'm not going to say your names, who have written me notes and may have written you a note, and it means a lot to get those. I'll even allow a text. We'll allow that. For this assignment, this week, let somebody know that they made a difference for you and that you're grateful for them. Renee?
Gene, that was exactly the answer I was looking for. Thank you very much. That was perfect. So then, if that's the case, if gratitude is good for us, how can we become more grateful? Other than our homework assignment, this is great. I can't wait. Berkeley has this science program called the Greater Good Program, and it says that the two biggest obstacles to gratitude are forgetfulness and a lack of mindfulness. Meaning we're too busy and our brains are going too fast to pause, process, and consider gratitude. Berkeley suggests a bamillion ways to combat these obstacles, but this was my favorite. Use a visual reminder. Put up a note, like a sticky note, or tape up a piece of paper of gratitude where you can see it on the daily. I like this idea, and I'm putting up gratitude sticky notes on my bathroom mirror and my piano at home. That's what I've decided to do. And y'all, I want to share with you a story that is sweet to me. My sons Thomas and Adrian, they just turned 27 this month. We used to have a daily practice at bedtime and breakfast. Every morning we would have a piece of pie, joy pie. We would share things with each other that brought us joy. And at the end of the day, we would each have a piece of what we called gratitude pie and share with each other the things that we were thankful for. We did this until they moved out. Through the years, I listened as their gratitudes went from their favorite toys when they were small to their favorite people as they got bigger, and as they became adults and their understanding and their worldview grew. They were grateful for bigger concepts like nature and music and love. It was truly amazing for me as a parent to witness, and I think those, albeit short moments of gratitude, informed Thomas and Adrian's worldview and life. Now, friends, I would like to move into our bread communion. As I was researching for this service and Googling all sorts of things about bread and gratitude, I came across a poem by Paul Neruda called An Ode to Bread. Neruda is considered one of the most important Latin American poets ever. Paul Neruda was an atheist, and I read a Hindu blog, a Buddhist blog, and a Christian blog entry about this poem. So it goes deep and touches many. And of course, I read some literary descriptions and critiques as well. This poem feels sacred, and it feels holy, and it uses bread as a metaphor for our very existence. This is Ode to Bread by Paul Neruda. Bread, you rise from flour, water, and fire. Dense or light, flattened or round, you duplicate the mother's rounded womb and earth's twice yearly swelling. How simple you are, bread, and how profound. You line up on the baker's powdered trays like silverware or plates or pieces of paper, and suddenly life washes over you. There's the joining of seed and fire, and you're growing all at once. The temperature rises, you're overwhelmed by fullness, the roar of fertility, and suddenly your golden color is fixed. And when your little wombs were seeded, a brown scar laid its burn the length of your two halves, toasted. Now, whole, you are mankind's energy, a miracle often admired, the will to live itself. O bread familiar to every mouth, we will not kneel before you. Men, do not implore unclear gods or obscure angels. We will make our own bread out of sea and soil. We will plant wheat on our earth and the planets, bread for every mouth, for every person, our daily bread, because we plant its seed and grow it, not for one man, but for all people. There will be enough. There will be bread for all the peoples of the earth, and we will also share with one another. Whatever has the shape and flavor of bread, the earth itself, beauty and love, all taste like bread and have its shape. The germination of wheat, everything exists to be shared, to be freely given. This is why bread, if you flee from mankind's houses, if they hide you away or deny you, if the greedy man pimps for you and the rich man takes you over, if the wheat does not yearn for the furrow and the soil, then bread, we will refuse to pray. Bread, we will refuse to beg. We will fight for you instead, side by side with the others, everyone who knows hunger. We will go after you. In every river and in the air, we will divide the entire earth amongst ourselves so that you may germinate, and the earth will go forward with us. Water, fire, and humankind fighting at our side. Crowned with sheaves of wheat, we will win earth and bread for everyone. Then life itself will have the shape of bread, deep and simple, immeasurable and pure. Every living thing will have its share of soil and life. And the bread we eat each morning, everyone's daily bread, will be hallowed and sacred, because it will have been won by the longest and costliest of human struggles. This earthly victory does not have wings. She bears bread on her shoulders instead. Courageously she soars, setting the world free like a baker borne aloft on the wind. Gene, will you give us some instructions on the bread?
Who needs vegan bread? Is this one vegan bread?
I don't know that. Oh, that's it. That is not right. Yes, do it. Help me. Which row? This row.
That end row.
This is the vegan, right? You can pass this vegan for something.
So, does everybody know how to eat bread?
Trust.
All right, vegan bread. So everyone get some bread, some toppings if you want. Pour yourself. If someone at each table would pour some cider. I like to watch a lot of British shows. Have you noticed when they pour the tea? So I'll be mother. So that's how they do it. So someone needs to be mother at each table and pour the cider. All right. You notice the time. I think we're going to have to cut the trailer.
Okay.
Yeah. But
I almost cut
I'll
the
give it a
corn,
big
but I
plug.
thought it was okay.
That's
Okay, don't eat it yet. Don't eat it yet.
too late.
Yeah.
Stop chewing. Kathy Benton, I see you. All right. It's hard, I know. All the bread virgins.
Jesus.
Okay. Prepare to eat.
Okay. All right. Has everybody got your bread? Okay. I want you to respond to me. I want you to respond to me with the words "with gratitude." Okay? With gratitude for our spiritual community. With gratitude. With gratitude for each other. With gratitude. And with gratitude for this bread. With gratitude. We nourish ourselves inside and out. Friends, let's partake in our spiritual meal together. That's it. This is pretty good. I need some spread.
Can't believe we made y'all wait almost an hour.
Good job.
We tried.
It was good. Okay.
If you have some words from the cider.
No,
Whoops.
I wasn't going to. Do you want me to? Don't eat that. Oh my God.
5 seconds. Just tell them to.
And of course, you may also partake of your cider as to wet your whistle after the bread. I should quit kicking the fire extinguisher. Hey, Stephanie, you still got bread in your mouth? Okay. You about ready to sing? Okay.
Should we maybe skip it or or can we sing one verse? Is that it?
Hey, let's do one verse. Okay.
Let's stay seated.
Let's do it. Whoever made the chocolate chip pumpkin bread, I am 20,000 times more grateful for you after eating the chocolate chip pumpkin bread. We're going to sing the first verse of We Sing Now Together. Join if you want to and don't if you don't. It's okay.
You can keep
eating.
your seats for this.
We sing now together our song of thanksgiving, rejoicing in goods which the ages have wrought, for life that enfolds us and helps and heals and holds us and leads beyond the goals which our forebears once sought.
All right, join me in extinguishing the chalice. We extinguish this flame, not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we hold in our hearts until we are together again.
And for our closing words today, friends, thank you for walking with me into this season of gratitude. Thank you. Know that UUF is, and I am so grateful for each and every one of you. And know that you are loved. And we'll see you next week for the Beatles service. Brenda.